Time for sports and an inspiring story. Myra's here with that now.
It's an unbelievable story, Hudson. Imagine being one of the best soccer players in Canada with the possibility of playing pro on the horizon. Then imagine learning that you have a heart defect and need a transplant just so you can live. Well, this was reality for former Victoria soccer player Simon Keith. In 1986, he had successful heart transplant surgery and went on to play competitively. Keith is coming home to Victoria this weekend to share his remarkable story.
If you're struggling and you just got a new kidney and you're 8 months in and you see some guy who's been 26 years, that's cool, right? Yeah. Now you got hope, which is what it's really about. This has been a real hurdle for me to get over, to share my story, and I'm glad I'm doing it for the first time in a quarter century.
Well, Keith was just 21 years old when he received his transplant. He was given the heart of a 17-year-old boy who ironically died while playing soccer. Keith went on to play soccer for UNLV in Las Vegas before playing in the Canadian Soccer League. Vegas is home for him, but Keith hasn't forgotten his BC roots. Victoria is where he will be launching his book, Heart for the Game. It's his inspiring story of how he beat the odds, and in the book he talks about the pilgrimage he recently made to Wales to pay respect to his donor.
Standing with the father of the young man who passed away for me to live, it was an incredible moment. For almost a quarter century, I didn't talk about my transplant. I didn't talk about it to my brother, my mother, my wife. I didn't talk about it. It was a non-issue in my life. So for me to do that, people around me were like, "What are you doing?" So something just inside me, my intuition said, you got to go do this. I'm glad I did. I remained friends with the dad.
You can hear Simon Keith tell his story in person on Friday at a luncheon being held at noon at Moxie's on Yates Street in Victoria. Also, the first chance to pick up his book will be Saturday at Royal Athletic Park at the Victoria Highlanders home opening weekend.
Well, if you look, that's a good approach, and he's right into the 5-hole. And that's my striker, Ashley Burberry. Carbo loading, perhaps. And maybe he's ordering another one, perhaps?
Well, I'm not a soccer authority, but I'm sure Jordan Cunningham wasn't expecting Highlanders practice to be all hot dogs and bouncy castles, with the regular season opener just days away. Despite being the star attraction at last night's Brayfoot fundraiser, the Highlanders are ready for Saturday's date at RAP versus the Seattle Sounders U23 team and Sunday versus the Whitecaps residency.
It for sure will be, I think, the club's maybe most difficult weekend ever in terms of the level of play that we are looking to play against. I'm confident the team will perform well, but I can guarantee that we'll put on a good show.
I think the bar can be set quite high because they don't know what we have. We will be tested a lot in both games, but I do believe that we have some firepower in us, and we can get 2 wins.
Oh, you're going to want to be there. Saturday's home opener is set for 7 p.m. at Royal Athletic Park. UVic Centennial Stadium was a hub of activity today for the annual Lower Island High School Track and Field Championships. CTV News cameraman Steve Coulterman willing to sacrifice his safety to get some pretty shots of the discus event. Disc never even left the frame. That is some solid work. Athletes from School District 61 were looking to put up some good times and distances to advance to next weekend's Island Championship. And the defending Island champs from Oak Bay are going to be well represented.
This is a combination of hard work, and it's more hard work today. And then next week we got the Islands, which will be 2 days. So the top 7 in each event, they'll qualify for the Islands and move on. And a lot of these kids are doing it right now.
Which schools are looking strong?
The favorite, as always, is Oak Bay. A lot of kids at that school. St. Andrews is looking good as well. And then Mount Doug is up there.
Oak Bay's Liam Kennel kicked off the Lower Islands in record fashion this morning. The middle distance specialist ran the 1,500-meter event in 4 minutes and 4 seconds, a full 7 seconds better than the previous mark, which was held by Tom Griffin since 1973.
Yeah, that's Mr. Butler and Mr. Fast and Mr. Sheffer all wanted me to go for it, and so that's what I did for Oak Bay. That's what was my goal today, it was to break Tom Griffin's record.
Wow. 1973. Do you know anything about 1973?
No. I'm a little too young.
That's even older than I am.
Wow, no.
Wow. Great reaction.
Wow.
He couldn't believe that. Yeah, I'm a fossil.
Nice to see that event going ahead.
Yes, absolutely. And then to see the Islands happening next Wednesday and Thursday as well.
All right. My thank you. Nice to see Simon Keith, too, by the way.
This is going to be a great weekend.
That's a story that many of us remember who were
It's an
here at the
unbelievable
time.
story.
Yeah, good for him. All right, time for sports. Myra's here. Maya.
Well, Hudson, for the past 2 years, the Nanaimo sports and business community have been strapping on the pads and turning into gridiron warriors, all in the name of charity. And on June 14th at Caledonia Park, well, they're going to do it all again in the 3rd annual Blair McKinnon Foundation charity football game.
We've raised, I think, $165,000 in the last 2 years prior to this. This year, again, like I say, we got 55 players, so it looks like each player has to raise a minimum of $1,000. So, we've already got one player who's raised $5,000. We've got a couple others at $3,500. So we'll do somewhere, hopefully, between $75,000 and $100,000.
There's Raiders quarterback Jordan Yance helping raise money last night at Original Joe's in Nanaimo. 55 celebrity football players, each raising $1,000 to play in the game. All the funds are going to support initiatives in Nanaimo. Blair McKinnon's life was cut short after suffering a seizure on April 11, 2010. But his legacy lives on through his many projects, including the Young Professionals of Nanaimo, which he founded.
Here it's again the VIU University along with the scholarships for the VI Raiders. We do the YPN, which is the Young Business Professionals, which my son and Andre Fenn started it all. And now through that group, they've also got the one in Comox Valley has a group, Camel River, Duncan's working on theirs. That's where kids are business people under 40 years old. So that's interesting. And then with the new building, we're also giving a hospice this year because they're building a new building in town. And then some other charities that we haven't really decided yet. So.
Donate to us, and he's helped me out to recruit a lot of valuable players here and lots of high caliber players that they want to go to VIU and get the education and plus play football with us, and it's been an immense help to us in that regard.
What we've got is we've got it called the helicopter drop, ball drop. So what's happened is we're selling 1,000 tickets at $20 each, and then what's going to happen is the helicopter comes in just before the game, picks up the balls, goes up 200, I think it's 200 feet, drops it close to the circle. Somebody wins $1,000 before we start the game. Just kind of adds to the whole thing, so just add some fun to it. And again, at halftime, we have a lot of stuff happening at halftime, and it's a lot of fun. And it's just money that we keep in Nanaimo, have some fun, and that's what we're after, is raising some money.
A fantastic foundation. They're doing great things. So one day I think I'm going to play in that game.
And a great way to keep the memory of a great guy alive.
Absolutely. Blair was a very nice young man.
Yeah. All right, Mike, thank you.
You're welcome.